Welcome to Bullish Banter. Today we'll be discussing Warren Buffett versus Elon Musk. Both are world-renowned entrepreneurs, investors, philanthropists, and we'll be joined by our guest from Eldoret office, FX Pesa Eldoret Training Center, Samson Mzera.
Hi guys, my name is Samson Mzera, education partner at FX Pesa, and I'm looking forward to this space.
Hi guys, this is Rufus Kamau, markets analyst at FX Pesa. Happy to be joining this space.
This should be interesting. We'll be discussing the two major magnets within the financial spaces. That would be Warren Buffett and Elon Musk investment style, strategy, principles, and even their personalities. Hopefully that would guide you or illuminate your path. Rufus, who are you siding with?
Definitely Elon.
Sam?
I'll go with Warren.
All right. Then I'll go with both. I think that is a very fair path. Why are you picking Warren? I think I'll start with from the eldest for wisdom purposes.
Personally, I'm taking Elon. He has more money.
That's not to argue with.
Sam, I'm fairing.
When your net worth is past $50 billion, does it really make a difference if it's 60, 70? Because at that point, I don't think it's already...
for arguments purposes, he has more money.
Nice one. I think, before we started, I was saying the utility purposes of money definitely differs. We have heard this saying, money cannot buy happiness. I want to categorically say I haven't had enough money to say it doesn't buy. So you'll have to wait and see. But one of the interviews I had, Warren Buffett mentioned that he has enough money to serve his needs, right?
Yes.
And therefore, I think it was around 2012 or thereabout when he decided to give 99% of his net worth to the Bill Gates Foundation. So you see, his focus now is more of how much can I give while also making sure my investors are well covered for, all right? So as much as money is good, what would you say is the philosophy behind Elon Musk's, investment style strategy?
I would say that deep down we are all kids who want to buy bigger toys.
Yes.
This is the one guy who can wake up one day and say he's buying Twitter.
Yes.
The other day they were having an argument with Warren Buffett.
Yes.
Based on the investment styles. Mm-hmm. Warren Buffett was in favor of his moats, competitiveness in the space, but Elon was favoring innovation.
Yeah.
So he basically said he's very interested in establishing a candy company in the US.
Mm-hmm. Now, both of them, I try to find a different in terms of the investment, more or less to this topic, entrepreneurial nature of Elon Musk, right?
Yes.
And I believe Sam will have something to add on this. Buffett has started from Buffett and Associates Company and the rest. Maybe, Sam, you can make your case for Warren, in regards to his investment style compared to the Musk.
Okay, so let's start with the background. One is Warren has a background in finance, and Elon has a background in, is it engineering?
Yes, engineering and business.
Yeah, and in some cases, I think they are similar. They both like owning long-term stakes in companies, although in different styles. So Elon will be a more risk-seeking entrepreneur. So his style is more risk-seeking. That means he'll approach industries that are disruptive, with disruptive technologies, and that's where he'll try to shine. For example, electric cars, we have solar panels, we have space exploration. And then on the other hand, Warren is more into well-established names with a solid competitive advantage. There's something Rufus has mentioned about them arguing over their investment styles. And one is going for more innovative companies like Elon. And then on the other hand, Warren going for something that has more than just innovation. Because I remember he gave an example of an insurance company and he said I mean, technology hasn't really changed much for it to improve. So it's not all about innovation per se, but what's your competitive advantage
Nice.
as an industry or as a company? Yeah.
Nice.
And that's where the whole argument comes in.
Okay. I say this earlier to Rufus and...
I think our point to differ.
okay.
Sam mentions that both Elon and Warren Buffett go for longer term investments. But if you look at the history, from the first company that Elon established in 99, software company helping create city guides.
Okay.
He literally sold that company, established in 95, sold in 99. Then later on in 2001, he established X.com, which later moved into PayPal.
Yeah.
A couple of years later, he sold. So I think his longest investment is currently Tesla. And he's already expanding to other companies such as Twitter. So for him, he invests in an idea, builds it to fruition, reaps the rewards, and then moves on to the next innovation. So I don't think he's the kind of a guy who would hold Coca-Cola for the last 30 or 40 years.
Definitely.
I mean,
I agree with that.
I mean, Rufus, he's not a day trader. So he's holding for slightly longer than a year. So.
Yes, I agree with that.
I say this earlier, and I think Rufus disagreed. Warren Buffett is quite funny, by the way. He's quite funny. You'll need to... He's the old man funny, the grandfather jokes. Now,
he has a lot of grandpa jokes.
Exactly. So I was looking at how he analyzes investments. Now, in the modern age, you'd be surprised up to now, unless he lies to us, and I suffer from not having visited his office. He doesn't have a laptop or even a desktop computer in his office. He does the analysis manual way. You look at the balance sheet, maybe on the dailies and stuff. While Elon Musk does the, hands-on creation of stuff. He is there, like in Twitter acquisition recently, he has been particularly keen on making sure that the codes to make sure that the application are working, seamlessly, and it is serving the purpose. He's more of a passionate entrepreneur stroke investor, while in Sam's words, or even in your own admission, Buffett invests in businesses. He doesn't, in his words, whenever he likes to invest, he creates his own investment story. And I don't know, is that something that differentiates them or makes them quite different? Because you'll find Buffett doesn't really change the board management, but Musk could change the entire company he has acquired, like Twitter, for example. Is that a good way to go about investment or even leadership style? Or
when you look at Elon, he's majorly focused on innovation.
Okay.
In most cases, you'll find other analysts describing him as futuristic. So he sees the potential for a certain innovation to change certain products, and then he invests and creates such products and reaps benefits out of it. So that's a for a young person listening to this podcast. Would you tell them to, go manual, the Warren Buffett way, invest in boring companies like Coca-Cola? Or would you tell them to go for a growth company like Tesla?
I mean,
that is not fair. Go on.
Just think about it. Let me interrupt you a bit, Rufus.
Yes.
Is innovation the sole most important thing when you're looking at a company or when you're looking to buy shares long-term in a company?
No. It's the both multiple. Companies, especially in the tech sector, the digital sector, software, they are the ones that have had the biggest multiple in terms of growth since the year 2000. So it has become quite an attractive sector that if you're investing in other areas, you find yourself you're losing to the guys who are investing like Elon Musk, Peter. They're doing way better than the rest of the investors in the space.
I'll be the devil's advocate here because I appreciate both their sides of investment style, right? Particularly, you said something about Coca-Cola. If you look at the books of Coca-Cola right now, the company itself, you look at the book of one of his largest holding, Geico Insurance. Are you not convinced that these companies are doing well financially? They do not have over-leveraged balance sheet. And therefore, with their dividend earnings over a period of time, any young person who decides to say, I like this company, I have seen their books, they are well within their margins in terms of their cost of operations, their expenditure, of course, their payroll, and more importantly, their market capitalization. Would you not be like, okay, I can invest in this, forget every dividend earnings I get, I reinvest in it?
I agree that they are very healthy companies. He's very selective of his companies. I remember last year he went in on Occidental Petroleum.
Yes.
And bought a very big chunk.
Yes.
At the end of the year, he was up like 100% on that position alone.
Yes.
So,
And
yes.
a hefty dividends to go home, to write home with.
So in terms of identifying a good, solid company, I think Warren Buffett has really established himself as a winner.
Yeah.
But then, in terms of tech, him being an old man who is used to old practices.
Old and wise.
Yes. He doesn't take tech that seriously, especially in innovation.
Okay.
So that's why you're seeing guys like Elon, who is retired 51 years old,
Yes.
Surpassing his net worth
Yes.
by investing in innovation,
Yes.
whereas for him, he's using the old ways,
Okay.
which have been holding on well for him.
Okay.
But in my case, it's not well enough.
Okay. Sam,
I think I'll beg to differ on that one.
okay.
It's a back and forth, I'm guessing. So when you talk about tech, and I'm assuming one of his major investments, that's Elon, is Tesla.
Yeah.
Look at a company like BYD, which is one of the major electric car companies in China. It's basically making more sales than Tesla.
True.
And it's a company Warren bought when the stock was sub 90, below 90. Currently, it's around above the $50. I haven't checked. And that's like a 10x return on investment. Or not 10x, but it's a very high return on investment within a relatively short period of time. So I'd describe Warren being more balanced and not necessarily focusing so much on one industry per se.
Nice that you bring that up. Now, you have been watching the news, and I know we did a spaces on this recently. The Silicon Valley Bank saga, especially, which affect a lot of venture capital, and one of the major, let's say, trigger to that collapse, wave was Peter Thiel, part of the PayPal mafia by Musk, and Sam, venture capital, they always are positive that things will be okay until things get on running. That is when things fall down. Well, yes, it is innovative, and like you claim about Buffett, that sometimes he likes to take it balanced. Some of them have gone to become, world-class company. I think Salesforce was one of them, started from somewhere, and then it is where it is now. Airbnb, I know you are a very good customer of them. Hopefully a shareholder as well, has been performing well over a period of time, and even Twitter itself, which Elon Musk bought, right?
Yes.
It was one of those tech companies which they become unicorns, for lack of a better words.
Yeah.
Don't you think that is also some of the companies or even investment style, because he defines himself as somebody who finds something he's passionate about, and puts his work and make sure that, yes, I will produce this at a lower cost or efficient cost, but make sure that the product is quite quality. If you look at Tesla, even though BYD and the other companies, I think Lucid is also within the electric vehicle. Don't you think that also his risk-taking investment approach and entrepreneurial spirit is worth something that any young person who is likely to invest be willing to consider? Because
the thing is, when you look at Warren Buffett, he's literally the guy who invests in monopolies. If you're in Kenya, he would be probably invested in Kenya Power, Safaricom.
Definitely.
Yeah. So monopolies and the way they act, they have a huge moat, so they're able to protect their market. So with monopolies, they literally just buy their competitors and maintain their monopoly.
Yes.
But Elon Musk is a firm believer in innovation. So if there's a company that is, let's say, holding a monopoly, let's say the vehicles market was an oligopoly controlled by a few firms,
Yeah.
and then he finds an innovation, he would create something that is more efficient, something that would have more utility to the user at a lower cost, and that's how he went about with Tesla.
Yeah.
So if you look at SpaceX, there's literally monopolies that control telcos in each and every country. And now he's looking to create a product where you can connect to the internet from literally anywhere in the world, and that would be cost efficient. So for him, he's more or less of an innovator who looks to disrupt the market.
Sam, that is a very good defense for Musk, and I think it sums up what I was asking you. Quite risk-taking is also always good. What is your thought on that?
Yeah, I think obviously when you're starting out, you would or you should invest in riskier, or you should participate in riskier investments, because that's how you're able to grow your capital or your wealth.
Okay.
And then at some point you're investing to maintain a certain level of wealth, or at least hedge it from going down. For example, I even think for Warren Buffett, there's a time he did invest in single companies, so he wasn't as diversified as he is right now. I remember there's a book I was reading, and he was using the income from one company to buy stocks in another company. And I thought that was very, very smart. And if you are to take the risk-taking approach, it's not sustainable. You can't do that. Look at the volatility of Elon's net worth.
Okay.
He's a bit diversified, but Elon's share in Tesla, how volatile that has been from 2020 to now. If you're someone who is looking to maintain wealth, that might not necessarily be a good strategy or a good approach.
Okay.
Because you have one day the share price is up plus $1,000, and the other time I think it dropped to around $400.
Okay.
So that those gyrations in the share price can be very risky.
Yeah.
If you're someone who is looking to maintain the wealth.
I love the way you have just jumped yourself into the lion's den. Let me just put it to you. I think it is for Buffett himself, your proponent, and of course your biggest probably fan, who say that the market is like a voting machine, right?
Yes.
And the stock prices, I think it's like, the results. So if today Tesla is $200, tomorrow it's $1,000.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
In the short run, it's a voting machine.
Exactly.
In the long run, it's a weighing machine. Basically weighs the earnings that the company has created over time.
Yes. And it's good that you have supported my point. Now let me put this to you. I think it was around, like I said, I did some, Buffett is quite funny. Let me give you why. He did this interview, or rather he got this call from Melinda Gates, when Microsoft was just starting, right? And Gates was looking for investors for his company, Microsoft. And Buffett was not really into it for obviously his principles from, his mentor, Benjamin Graham. For those who want to read more of him, you can just go and look for, I think, security analysis, as well as The Intelligent Investors, one of the greatest books that any investor would read, and it would guide you. He said he listened to Gates keenly, gave him his idea of Microsoft, gave him his balance sheet. Everything is good. But he wasn't willing to buy even 100 shares of Microsoft at the time, while it was still in the private market, of course. For those who knew, private market is not listed in the public, so you can just do like a company to any shareholder who wants to be part of it. And so given that he had been pestered a lot on the calls, Buffett said, okay, let me buy 100 shares. Let me see what this kid is about. I'll just be monitoring him from afar. So he bought. Probably that is how they became friends and stuff. Followed how Microsoft is going, right? So you can see from that perspective, it is not like he's an respectfully old and wise person who doesn't really adopt technology. It is that he is selective on the kind of technology. And I think he used to play some game called Bridge on Microsoft, and he had a very funny name by the T-Bone something. Yeah. And that is what he found on Microsoft, which was the utility to him as an investor.
Yes.
After that, he has been openly investing in tech companies. So, he's also somebody who sometimes accepts tech innovation.
I think you both agree with me.
Yeah.
Sam just mentioned that Warren Buffett in his earlier days, he was investing in young companies. You also mentioned he invested in Microsoft earlier on.
Yeah.
So if you look at Elon Musk and his crew, the PayPal mafia, we saw Peter Thiel going for a $17,000 investment in Facebook in its earlier days when it was very young, when it was literally getting clients from universities. But then that investment turned out to be a big money multiplier, and he has been doing the same thing over and over again. So, like, when you look at the entire journey of Warren Buffett, I would say that at some point he started on in a very similar investing style with Elon Musk. The only difference is that the guy doesn't get his hands dirty. He doesn't get in the company to work, in the company to develop products, innovate.
That is very true.
For him, he just sits on the side and lets the other guys do the work.
Yeah, I think it's very rare. I don't know, maybe Sam, you can correct me. In all the companies, he calls them businesses, not shares. He likes to, even if he buys 10% or even if he buys one share, he calls it, I've bought a business, a piece of that business.
Yes.
He normally doesn't get involved within the board working as the CEO. He just believes if he has had a conversation with the CEO and he believes this guy is actually a quality leader who can drive this company to profitability, good margins, and value to the investor, he's okay. It doesn't really get his hands dirty. And to any investor who's like, getting to start, I think we can all agree, both of them take substantial amount of risks to get value back for their money. It's just the innovation part that is quite, putting them aside. Is it necessary that one takes the risky path of, creating everything, trying everything and everything like Musk in your garage, in your bed sitter, in wherever?
Yes, definitely. If you have the skill and ability, then I believe definitely you should go into developing products.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam?
I think we can go back to the fact that one is an engineer and the other one is a finance guy. So one will try to bring out the value in these companies, while Warren will find hidden value in these companies. That's the difference. But if I was to chip in on the side of Elon, I think he almost became bankrupt when he was trying to make Tesla profitable. At some point, he was surviving on a loan from friends and family, I believe. So that's a huge risk, if you ask, because after the sale of PayPal, he was using almost his entire capital just on one company. And I don't think that's something Warren will do.
I beg to differ. Let me give you another story of Warren. The guy said in his advice, I think it was an interview with, this guy from Economic Club of Washington, David Rubenstein. Yeah. He said, he was asked, what is the advice you'd give to any young person? His response was, especially if you want to get into finance, and I think some, you would not like this answer he gave. Be willing to do something you love, even if money was not part of the compensation package. Something you do even if money was not some. So, to you, Sam.
What if you love money, man?
If you love what?
Money.
Yeah, true. Like, he worked for Benjamin Graham while he was in Colombia, getting no money. He was not paid salary. He agreed to work with him, learn how to invest, the value investing principle he has been preaching across, and probably why he's referred to as the godfather of investing. So at some point...
Flag stays down, the freeway spray on.
Yeah, I think here you are not getting out of this net. This net is quite heavy.
No, I'm saying, all I'm saying is, what if the thing you love is actually analysis? It's going through businesses, because I believe he does put in work to get to know the financials of these companies, to get to find hidden value. That in itself is a lot of work.
True. And that skill, he learned it for free. He was never paid any salary while working with the Graham, his mentor, basically in investing. So at some point, I believe if you are passionate about what you are doing, you necessarily do not focus on what I'm getting in compensation, because I think both of them do get paid or compensated in stock options as opposed to salary. Because I think Warren has been listed so many times and has been criticized so many times to pay his secretary, who pays more taxes than him on payroll basis, because he doesn't earn any salary. He draws it from the stock compensation from Berkshire Hathaway and many other dividend earnings.
Yeah. Do you think Elon Musk is looking to get to Mars for the money?
Good question.
Yeah, look at Twitter. Look at Twitter and how he's been handling it in terms of firing guys and trying to save on costs. There's even a meme where he was talking to the servers and the wires and asking, "Are these needed here?"
He has been pretty straightforward. He's running all these projects in order to fund the journey to Mars.
Yeah.
Very, very good. That's a very good way to look at it.
He's been straightforward on a lot of things, though.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, before he acquired Twitter, he was all about free speech. Before he bought Bitcoin, he was all about the free financial system.
Yes,
so
nice one.
But none of his investments has
seems like.
Boring company is still.
What do you mean?
Like if you look at SpaceX, it's still sending satellites every week. If you look at Tesla, it's still creating new factories, creating new innovation. Twitter is only getting better. All of his vehicles are literally moving. So I wouldn't say that that's too much if everything is working.
Yeah, it's good. I think today Sam will be really on the firing end of this barrel of mine. You just mentioned. Go ahead.
The question is, what is the motive? The question is, what is the motive behind him doing all this? And frankly speaking, it's not all the times that it seems as though he's on a bigger cause than just money.
He has said it clearly. He knows he cannot extend his lifetime, and he requires a lot of funds to fund the journey to Mars. So the only way out is by innovating through the current economy, create as much money as possible, and then fund the journey to Mars.
That is quite interesting. Sam, you just mentioned yourself Bitcoin. I don't think Buffett is one of those funds who fund. He's one of those old school Keynesian economics where
poison.
Yes, like there is no utility for Bitcoin whatsoever. He's still standing by Buffett.
Yeah, because I mean, in introspect, anyone will be happy they didn't buy Bitcoin.
Okay.
And
at 60K, that is.
Buy when it was at 60K, and yeah, because I even remember when Elon had bought Bitcoin, it was around at 40, and it went all the way to 60, and then there's a point he sold, and he caused the market to drop for some time, and everyone was mad at him because he had started making promises about how you can buy Teslas with Bitcoin and all that.
Fair point. I think his plan, which I tend to slightly agree with Rufus, he likes to take on the new stuff which has valid, opportunity to create some quick cash. And I think that falls now under speculation as opposed to investing.
He literally created tequila. Yeah. He created Huisol, the Tesla Huisol.
Okay.
He created the money gun. He's a fun guy who makes fun investments and reaps much out of it.
All right. Finally, both of them are quite similar in a way. They like to have fun with their investment style. They are not, that's why I said, like, they don't necessarily take finance or rather investing as something that you need to do MBA, because I know, Buffett really, literally didn't want to go to college. His father forced him. He was rejected at Harvard.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is encouraging, but that is some of the interesting facts from Buffett. Yeah. He just was quite interested and fascinated with the markets, and he took it at a time. Every loss he took is more of a learning lesson. I think that is some of the aspects we are quite finding similarity in them.
Elon went to Canada, studied his 2 degrees.
Yeah.
Then he subscribed to a PhD, which he later dropped with a student debt of about 100K. Then he went straight to starting his own company.
Interesting. Maybe there is a moral story there,
Maybe you should drop out on the PhD level.
Sam, are you taking any master's or a postgraduate course?
I'm planning to.
Okay. Maybe we should take a leave.
Now let me enjoy the market first.
Yeah, definitely. I think
and then drop out midway so that you become a billionaire.
Yeah, I think definitely that is something to also look into. But I believe consistency in what you love, consistency in always be eager to learn.
Consistency, be passionate about what you're doing. I think that takes it home.
Yeah, and curiosity.
And it's funny how at that really high level of thinking, every industry converges. So, for example, Elon, he was into this tech space. Now he finds himself participating more in finance, where Warren is. And Warren, who was in purely in finance, has to go to different industries just to understand them. So at the end of the day, things just converge at the top, and you have this game you play at a very high level.
I appreciate that, Sam. I hope Eldoret is quite nice weather as it is in Nairobi. I think we can wrap it here. Hopefully, you will be able to listen to us in the upcoming episodes. Today, I hope you have learned one or two things about Warren and Musk's investment style. I'd like to give a round of shout out to those who made this possible: Tashi, Shiko, Barak, and of course, Collins. We hope in the coming series we'll be more clinical and more banters. But
definitely, that was a good tackle with Sam.
By powers conferred to me. Powers conferred to me by FX Pesa, I declare Musk by Rufus today the lucky winner.
1-0.
Good ahead.